Okay, so we've built 3 displays. And what we've noticed is when we're working with the displays is that in those templates, they also have events. So those events for our tanks are mostly tracking the downtime. So when was our piece of equipment not working? So there's many ways that we can access that data. You can see it maybe in PyDataLink, maybe you can see it in PySystem Explorer, but PyVision is one of the best ways to get a quick overview of what happened during those events. So all the events, they can be found in the event pane on the left. So if I open up the event pane, I can see that by default, it will search the events based on what I have on my graphic here. So the display contains currently 12 hours, so I'm searching events that happened during that window of time. So if I change it to 1 hour, it will also automatically update all the events here. I can also edit the search criteria. So maybe I want more than only what's on my display, or I want more than what's during this hour here. So by using the edit search criteria, I can choose the database that I want, the time range, different severity of events. Maybe I need to get a specific asset name, or maybe I want even when in a certain attribute value. So those are all different search criteria, and during the demos and the exercises, we'll use most of them. So once we found the events that we're interested in, we can right-click on any of the events, and we can apply this time range. So by applying this time range, now the display covers the time range of the events. So in our case, here it is 13 minutes and 3 seconds. So we can see what has occurred, maybe what was the minimum, the maximum, or anything that we may want to look at. It's also important to note that here is the tab of all the attributes. So those were the attributes during the event frame. So I can see the lost production, the event duration, and some other attributes here. But what if I want to have more information about this event? Then I can right-click and I can look at event details. Okay, so here I can see the detail of the events. So here I can see the different attributes, what were their values. I can also see a trend of some of the attributes. Maybe I want to add some more attributes to the trend, and I can simply just add them by clicking the button here. So all of these at the bottom here are the different attribute details. And at the top is just the trend of the attributes. So I go ahead and I decide what attribute that I may want to trend. And this will give you a better idea into what's going on in your process during that event. So once you're satisfied with this, and maybe you have an explanation, maybe something happened in the plant, Joe turned off the turbine. Then you can add this comment, and then your colleagues can have access to those comments. You could also potentially add a document or a photo. The other thing that we can do is when we have a lot of events, we may want to compare those different events with other events of the same type. So this is the comparison window. So here I have the event that I was looking at initially, and then I can see all the other events that are of the same type. So here I can have an overlay trend, so I can simply take one of my events, look at the attributes, I can drag and drop, and this allows me to now look at different attributes. And here I'm comparing, this chart is really busy because I'm comparing something like a dozen of events. So maybe I only want to look at a few. So I can hide the events that I'm not interested in. I could also edit maybe the search criteria to have only the ones that are really interesting to me. And here, the color gives me if it is an information event, maybe it's a warning event, it could be various severities. So by editing the search criteria, I can look at the severity. Maybe I'm only interested in getting the critical events. So now we can see the list of all my critical events. And the same thing, I can also hide the different events. In the case of an event that maybe would be either a gold standard that we want to compare everything to, or maybe this was the worst event, we can also pin the event. By pinning the event, even if I change the search criteria, so in this case we had a critical event, let's change it to an information severity. So we can see that the search results have updated, but I still have my pinned event here. So this was simply to show the different functionalities of the event frame within PyVision, but we'll move on to doing some actual demos, and then we can look at how you can use that in your process. And once those directed activities will be done, you'll have some time to work on some exercise and get your hands-on experience with it.